welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie, and today I'm here to take a look back at 2025 and some of the goals that I set for myself in terms of diamond painting to see if I met any of these goals, and if so, which ones, and maybe get a look ahead at what I'm thinking for 2026. This channel is all about diamond painting, so if you're new, first, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here and hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, I hope that you'll consider subscribing. It's all diamond painting all the time here, lots of unboxings and reviews and whatnot, and occasionally videos like this one where I just talk about different goals that I have and just what I'm thinking about, kits that I want to work on and kits that I have worked on. So at the very beginning of 2025, I did a video that I called 20 kits and 5 goals for 2025, just to play on 25. And I basically went through my diamond painting collection and picked out 20 kits that I kind of wanted to consider working on this year. I really wanted to represent a variety of different shops and styles of artwork, and just kind of going into it with the idea of testing things out. It's a value I have on my channel to really try to give you guys a really wide variety of different kinds of kits and shops to look at, so you have a sense for what's out there, but also can get a better idea for where and how you want to spend your money and what your priorities are when it comes to diamond painting. So it's always been a value of mine to try to use this space, use this platform, if you will, to be helpful to others and to share my own experiences and what I've learned. This was the first year that I decided to be really specific about that and name some specific kits, kind of looking at the year ahead. And I went into it with the idea that I really did not expect that I was going to complete all 20 of these kits, and I didn't, but I completed a fair number of them, and there's a handful more that sort of I met the goal of in spirit. It'll make more sense when we're going through them together and I can explain. And then setting some goals for myself. Again, it was just sort of a guidelines thing, not like this is going to shape every single bit of what I do. It was more of these are just some things I think I would find helpful and interesting, and more importantly, just enjoyable. A lot of what I've been doing lately with diamond painting is trying to recapture some of that original excitement and joy that really generally just comes with the novelty of starting a new craft. But I think there are ways that we can still grab that, even if it's something we've been doing for a long time. Diamond painting is definitely the craft that I have stuck with the longest. I know that I'm not alone in having tried a variety of different other crafty pursuits that I usually pick up, am enamored with for, 5 minutes or 5 days, maybe 5 weeks if I'm lucky. But diamond painting in 2025, I crossed my 5-year diamond painting anniversary in April. And while there are things about it that have changed, whether it's some things with my taste, there are certain artists or art styles that I really enjoyed working on when I started diamond painting 5 years ago, where now it's like maybe I don't necessarily love those artists anymore, or now I can articulate what my priorities are when it comes to diamond painting, things like the rendering and certain foundational things about the quality of the materials, licensed artwork, those sorts of things. But ultimately, this craft has continued to be one that brings me a lot of joy and has led to wonderful connections with new friends and the community that is all of you here on YouTube. And just, it's also one of those things that kind of has worked out to be helpful for my anxiety. A lot of people use this craft for support with their own mental health. So lots of benefits. And I guess I'm feeling kind of, this is very off the cuff here, I'm feeling very reflective. It's the end of the year and it already feels like it's a time for reflections. But I think, I don't know, there's just something about having hit 5 years of diamond painting, 5 years on YouTube, in 2025 that has me feeling extra pensive. So I hope it's okay that I went on a little tangent here to start out. But it all relates back to, like I said, just different things I did going into this year, like picking out specific kits that I thought like, I think I want to try to make sure I get to a kit from this company this year, or I know this company has made some changes. I want to test out one of their kits and see what I think of those changes, or let me really try to hone in on what it is that I'm looking for in my diamond painting experience, those kinds of things. And so I really enjoyed sharing with you guys along the way, both at the beginning when I set these goals and talked about them, along with, I did do a mid-year check-in at the end of June, I think. I will try to remember to link to that video below. Interestingly enough, before I sat down to film this video this evening, I went back and rewatched because I wanted to refresh my memory. I've done a lot of videos this year, so I don't remember specifics that I talked about in videos that I recorded 6 months, a year ago, that kind of thing. So I went back and rewatched my video where I talked about my goals for this year, as well as my mid-year check-in. And I'm pretty happy with how this year has gone and how it's kind of come together, and feel like my feelings from then to now are pretty consistent. So, but I'll link those if you're interested and kind of want to see where I started, kind of how I was feeling partway along the way, and now where we're at now. So it is currently, for full context, it is December 17th that I'm filming this. So we technically still have a couple weeks left in the year, but I have pretty low stakes plans as far as diamond painting goes. I have really made a change this year with how I've approached the holiday season, where in past years I've often tackled larger kits, even in spite of it being the busy holiday season, just because a lot of the seasonal kits that I have tend to be on the larger side rather. And it's like I want to get to those because I'm a seasonal crafter. I want to work on Christmas and wintry kits when it's Christmas and winter. But this year, I don't know, I finished my one really big wintry Christmassy diamond painting project, which was Clara the Nutcracker from Miss Holly and Diamond Art Club. And then I sat on it for a couple of days and ultimately decided to stick to smaller projects for the rest of the year. So I worked on a couple of small kits from the Diamond Art Club Advent box, and then I have a couple of more snacky size Christmassy kits that I'm going to be working on between now and the end of the year. And I'm feeling how much less pressure there is with working on smaller kits. It feels like I just have more time to get things done with regards to the holiday season, both related to the YouTube side of things, but also just like personal life stuff. And so I highly recommend it if you're going into a busy season of life, that working on smaller kits can maybe be the way to go. But that said, let's talk about these goals and the kits that I said I wanted to work on. So first I'll go ahead and we're going to go through the list of kits that I had set at the beginning of the year one by one. And I'll mention, like, did I get to this kit? And if not, why not? Or was this one that I kind of substituted in for something else? So first up, the oldest kit in my stash. I did not work on the oldest kit in my stash. When it came down to it, there were a couple of like really old Diamond Art Club kits. One was a Mandy Manzano, one was a JoJo's Art. I think they were both in the same order. I think the Mandy Manzano one was it One Little Bite? It's like princessy fan art. It was discontinued several years back. The JoJo's Art is one that I believe, what's the name of it? Is it Dreams? It's the one of like the blue tiger with kind of the gold fish around it. It's the image that was the artwork for the Square Drill Diamond Art Club boxes up until they changed their boxes. What was that, a year ago? But that JoJo's Art one has square drills, and Diamond Art Club's older square drills are just not a ton of fun to work with. And so I debated, like, do I want to like rebuy that kit? I don't think it's been discontinued. It's like, do I rebuy it and then it would have better quality square drills? But then it's not the oldest kit in my stash anymore. And then the Mandy Manzano one, I just didn't get to. You know, I want to get to more of those next year. I'm kind of thinking a little bit ahead to what do I want my 2026 goals to be, kits I might want to work on, but not to get ahead of myself. All this to say, I did not work on the oldest kit in my stash. But what's fun about this is that I had set this goal at the beginning of 2025, not knowing that here towards the end of 2025 that Lisette from Lisette Crafts and Tells would talk about her big challenge for 2026 for herself and that she's posing to others is to refresh your stash. And I'll link to her video about that below. But she's really going to be focusing on, and is challenging others that want to join in, to focus on working through the oldest kits that you have in your stash, with the idea being, this is actually, I guess, very relevant to what I was saying, but the idea being that you're getting through those kits that maybe have things you don't love as much about them because the company has made so many improvements since then. In this case, the example with, I don't want to be working on these brand new, amazing quality Diamond Art Club square drill kits and then going back and pulling out these really old kits that are 5, 6, 7 years old in my stash that have poor quality square drills. It stinks to go back and forth between those things in terms of quality. So there's other things that play here too, but Lisette's goal was just sort of like get those older kits out of your stash, whether it's working on them, destashing them, gifting them, and then what you're left with is truly just like the cream of the crop in terms of quality and things that you love. So I feel like that's very on theme, and I see myself in 2026 trying to maybe get through some of these older kits in a way that I didn't really do in 2025. So anyway, that was number 1. Number 2 on my list was Star Sailor by the Creativity Squirrel. This one I did not get to, and I am going to make a high priority of it in 2026 because the only reason I didn't get to it was because this was in a group of like 5 or 6 kits that I would about like every other month put up for a vote in my Patreon for them to decide what kit for me to work on. That's just one of my Patreon perks, is sometimes I let them help me decide like what kits to work on, what kinds of things to do with my videos, stuff like that. If you're interested in finding out more about that, I'll have those things linked below. I have some different perks and different tiers and stuff, but no pressure. You're watching this video, you're supporting me, and I super appreciate you. But Star Sailor from the Creativity Squirrel, I do, like I said, really want to work on this one in particular because I haven't worked on a kit from this small shop before, and I actually really am unhappy that I haven't gotten to a kit from them yet. And I'm looking forward to working on a kit from them next year. It's going to be a really high priority. So I didn't get to that one. We're not off to a very good start. We're 0 for 2. The next few, though, we've got some thumbs up. So some of these I did talk about in my mid-year check-in for these kits and goals. And so number 3 was a Disney princess kit. And I did work on this Little Mermaid kit from Diamond Art Club back in, was that February, and really, really enjoyed working on this one a lot. And I still have a lot of Disney princesses in my stash. I did like a mini series as well of the Amazon Diamond Art Club Disney princesses. There's been 2 that have come out since I finished that original series, and I am intending to work on those at some point. So Cinderella and Tiana both released after I'd already done that series. So I'd like to finish those and add to it. But yeah, so Disney princesses, check. We got to that in the first half of the year. Number 4 was Books and Things from Unimade and Cat Fedora. This one also gets a check mark. I completed this one, I think, it was January or February. So, and we talked about in my midpoint check-in, that was a happy kit. I really, really loved how that one came together a lot. And that was another one of those like, well, I think Unimade's made some changes and stuff like that. I would really like to get to this one. I had a really, really nice experience with that kit, and I like a lot about how it turned out. So I definitely could see myself wanting to have a lot of Unimade kits in my stash. Could see myself trying to make sure I get to at least one of those in 2026. Number 5, this is new in the second half of the year, and that is Garden from Carrot Art. Every time I talk about this kit, I have no poker face, truly. This is one of my least favorite diamond paintings I have ever worked on, and it kills me. The artist is Mahu Shujo, and the artwork is beautiful. It's just, there's so much emotion. The color palette is just beautiful. And I wanted to love this so much. I think this video will go up before I do, but I did film a post review, a dedicated post review video on this kit where I go into a lot of detail about why this was such a disappointing experience. And to the point that, I was planning to buy a couple more kits from them, maybe on Black Friday. It's one of the reasons I worked on this kit. And I decided not to as a result of my actual experience working on this kit. So the main thing was the rendering. Super soft rendering style, very, very little detail, both up close and further away. Some really strange color choices and special drill placement was kind of wacky. And I didn't like it. But there was a reason that this kit was on my list of kits that I wanted to try to get to. I hadn't worked on a carrot art kit in a couple of years, and I wanted to work on another one to see if my experience was going to be different, consistent. It was consistent. It was worse, a little worse though than my first kit that I did from them. And that answered my question. So I wanted to be able to answer the question of, do I want to keep ordering from them? And I did, and I'm sad, but that is what it is. So that was number 5. Number 6 was an Ivy Dolomore mystery kit from Diamond Art Club. Man, I almost worked on this one more than once, and I could see myself getting to it in 2026. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but this is one of those kits I kind of put a little asterisk next to because I thought, well, I a little bit substituted something else for it, because one of the reasons I put this one on my list was because I hadn't worked on a mystery kit in a while, it felt like. And while what I would really like to try to do sooner rather than later is to work on another Diamond Art Club mystery kit, specifically one of the ones ideally that has like the different color backgrounds on the symbols, to see if maybe that's easier on the eyes. I ended up instead working on the Ghosts Doing Stuff kit from Diamond Art Studio UK and Teeny Weeny Cross Stitch, which is a mystery kit and also functioned as a substitute for one or two other projects on this list actually. But that kind of ticked that box in a way for me, as ultimately the Ivy Dolomore represented wanting to work on a mystery kit, and the Ghosts Doing Stuff was a mystery inherently, like a cross stitch conversion style mystery kit, and really enjoyed working on it a lot. So kind of substituted in for it, but I often have this specific mystery kit, this Ivy Dolomore mystery kit, on my mind. I really am very charmed and enamored by this artwork. And again, no spoilers, but I could see myself maybe getting to it in 2026 because I think it's so cool. So that was kit number 6. Kit number 7 was the kit Girl from Enabler's Outpost and the artist Hiroko. And this is kind of in a similar camp as the Creativity Squirrel kit I mentioned towards the beginning as well, where it was in the mix with some other kits that I had my Patreon voting on, and ultimately just didn't get voted for. I also ended up getting a different Hiroko kit from Enabler's Outpost that I liked more, that I could see myself really trying to get to in 2026, because I've had a really great experience with Enabler's Outpost kits. And I like this artwork a lot, and I like a lot of what Enabler's Outpost is doing with like their rendering style and their quality, and so I have a feeling I'll really enjoy it. But it was one of those, not for lack of trying and not for anything personal, but I just didn't get to it in 2025. And we'll see, maybe 2026 will be the year. Now, number 8 was the kit Cave Dragon by Diamond Painting Shop and the artist Jan Patrick Krasny. And this I did get to and loved every moment of it, actually. It surprised me. I thought the color palette might bore me. There's a lot of golds and browns in like the bottom half of it. I don't know what it was. I loved working on this kit. I really, really love Diamond Painting Shop's quality, and keep kind of going back to see if they have anything in the shop that catches my eye that I'm like, ooh, I would love to do this one again, or get something else from them again. And this was such a good experience. I'd been meaning to work on this kit for like a couple of years, and so this was the year. And I was really happy actually when I think this one I put up for vote and it got voted on. And I love how it turned out. I'm like, I would love if Diamond Painting Shop got more artwork from Jan Patrick Krasny, because this one was amazing to work on. Now, number 9, you can chuckle because, I mean, I will. But this was, I had a Persephone kit. Yes, of course I worked on a Persephone kit this year. In fact, I worked on several kits with like Greek mythology couples. I think I had two Persephone kits. I meant to pull up my pictures of my completed kits because I thought, oh, that'll be good to have handy. But I worked on Underworldly Romance from Chris the Bug, which is Hades and Persephone. And then I also worked on a kit called Hades and Persephone from Diamond Art Club and the artist Mrs. Butter D. So I could happily work on Hades and Persephone kits all day. I just think that they're absolutely wonderful. And I have plenty in my stash that I could see myself, trying to extend as long as possible. Just double checking there. I got it pulled up. Yeah, those two were my 2 Hades and Persephone kits. But yeah, I'd imagine I'll work on another one in 2026 just because I have so many and I do love the theming so much that it's like, yeah, I want to keep working on them. Number 10, halfway at this point, this is Soul of the Storm from Diamond Art Club. And this one I talked about in my halfway point check-in video, where this one I decided to table because I found that the kit, what was the name of it? Starlight? Shoot, I'll have a picture up on the screen for you guys. But Rainbows and Starlight. There we go. Rainbows and Starlight. This one in particular just sort of filled what I was looking for from Soul of the Storm. Something about like the emotions of it, the rainbow colors and whatnot. That was, I like got from that what I wanted to get from Soul of the Storm. So, yeah, Soul of the Storm was one that was almost not even on my goals list to begin with. So it's not like a big deal, but yeah, that's why that one did not make the cut. Next up, number 11, I had originally put on my list Sakura Picnic from Diamood, and I had said at the time that this was one of those kits that might function as like a holding spot, basically. Like I knew I wanted to work on a kit from Diamood, but wasn't necessarily going to be this exact one. It was going to depend on how I felt about a couple other kits I still needed to unbox from them. As it turned out, I ended up working on a different kit from them called Whiskers and Starlight. What's the name on it here? I think it was Whiskers and Starlight. And really, really, really enjoyed the process of working on this one. But what was so, so disappointing to me was to find out that the shop was closing, like right around when I was working on and finishing this kit. It became very bittersweet, especially bittersweet because it was such a good experience and I wish the shop were still around because, a lot of small shops have closed this year, and this is one I was really sad to see go because I thought they had a really solid quality product and seemed like they had good customer service and were just all around a solid shop. So I have a couple other kits from them in my stash I'll be holding on to for a while to save and savor a bit. But that one I'm like considering like a check mark because even though I named a specific kit, it was really a kit from this company, period. Next up, I had the kit Loved Ones Are Near from Diamond Art Studio UK, and part of this was just wanting to work on another kit from this company this year because I couldn't remember if I'd even gotten to one in 2024. So I also thought like, well, maybe for like a wintry kit, it's kind of giving winter vibes, but then I ended up instead working on the Ghosts Doing Stuff mystery chart to art kit from Diamond Art Studio UK, and so that was like, okay, I feel like I've got to work on a kit from this shop, so that will work to fill that spot. Next up, this is number 13. I had a John William Waterhouse custom on my list. And I think we talked about this one. Yeah, we would have talked about this in the halfway point check-in, but I was working on The Soul of the Rose by John William Waterhouse for Summer with the Masters in keeping with my annual tradition. And I'm going to try to do the same for summer of 2026. I already have a couple of artworks in mind, slowly working my way through John William Waterhouse's portrait pieces. And I wonder if this will be the year I finally work on Boreas. That's the one that's like the artwork that keeps kind of sticking out in my mind. It just really speaks to me, but I know it's going to be a really confetti heavy piece and a bigger undertaking if I want to get it in the size that I feel like needs to do it justice. So we'll see if this is the year if I kick the ball further down the road. But anyway, 2025, yes, I worked on that one. Next up is number 14 was the Great Wave from Diamond Dots, this one in square drills. I just wasn't in the mood to work on this one. I was going to work on it for a summer with the masters and in part to do a comparison with the round drill version I had done the previous year. And I don't have any other way to put it is other than I just wasn't in the mood. I didn't feel like it. So I didn't. So maybe 2026. We'll see. But I worked on plenty of other old masters kits, and I did ultimately get to a different comparison project. But yeah, just didn't get to that one. Number 15 was Talk to the Snakes from Jada Gem Shop, and we talked about this one in the halfway point check-in, but I had put this on my list to work on in honor of the year of the snake, and I did work on this one in the first half of 2025. I like the color palette in this one. There were some like trash drill issues, and I ended up not enjoying it as much as I thought that I would, which that happens sometimes. There are kits that I just am really sure that I'm going to enjoy working on them, and once I get into it, I'm like, nah, I don't know, and I don't always know why. It's kind of annoying, actually. But then there's some kits that I'm a little nervous that I'm not going to enjoy, like the Cave Dragon kit I mentioned earlier. And then I get into it and I'm like, oh, no, this is actually so much fun. And I'm not burned out or bored at all. All the contingencies I planned were totally unnecessary. But yeah, Talk to the Snakes, that was a weird one to not enjoy as much as I expected, but is what it is. Number 16, we're getting into a stretch here. Most of the rest of these I did not get to, but I will try to explain why. Number 16 was Diana from Diamond Art Club and the artist Maria Abagnale. And one of the reasons I wanted to work on this one was because I wanted to do a comparison with the first version I completed of this artwork from Treasure Studios Art, who has since shut down. And I just really wanted to get to work on this piece from a company that I knew had done the colors and the rendering justice. And one of the reasons I ended up ultimately not doing this one was because I instead worked on the piece Dark Lilith from Diamond Art Club and ended up doing that to do a comparison with Dark Lilith from DIY Moon Shop. So that made me feel like, you know, if I feel like working on Diana later in the year, then fine. But otherwise, like, I didn't know at the beginning of the year that Dark Lilith was coming from Margaret Morales from Diamond Art Club. And so when it did come out and I just opened it, was like, I have to work on this right away. And so that's what I did. Then Diana just kind of got put on hold, which is fine. Maybe 2026 will be the year. We shall see. Number 17 is Leap of Faith from Captured by Radiance. And this one I ended up not working on because I was really reluctant to pull out huge kits this year, especially if it was from a new to me company. And I haven't worked on a kit from Captured by Radiance. I would really like to, but one of the things I'm planning to do is to take a look at their website and see if they have any other artwork or kits that are smaller in size that are also in a theme and style that I like. That's been my struggle with their shop, is I feel like they, from what I've seen from others, like Kara from the Principal Painter has worked on their kits and shown them and has had, I think, a pretty good experience. It sounds like they're nice quality, but they just have a lot of themes and art styles like landscapes, AI, that sort of thing that I don't gravitate towards. I'm like, this one, Leap of Faith, is by an artist that I really love, but they don't seem to have much else from. And the art itself, I just thought was really cool, but it's so big. It's really big. So, and also I think it's comparatively like maybe an older release now compared to some of their others. And so I don't know how much the features and whatnot differ. So yeah, it's a shop I'm kind of keeping an eye out on to see if maybe they come out with something else that's more my taste, that's smaller, not as huge. Number 18 was the Rainbow Edition of Paint Gem mini sets. And this one I didn't end up getting to in June like I thought I might, because I ended up working on Rainbows and Starlight instead. And I just haven't done a ton of mini sets this year. I guess I've done some mini dazzle sets from Diamond Art Club, but I haven't worked on a single Paint Gem set. We're gonna have to fix that in 2026. Maybe I'll change my mind on what mini set I was gonna take with me when I travel here next week, and maybe I'll take a Paint Gem instead. But I love this artwork, and I could see myself maybe getting to it this June instead, or just when I want like a happy pick-me-up. Then number 19 was Witch's Antique Collection from Jolly Gem Shop, and this actually had a similar feeling about in the end to Leap of Faith from Captured by Radiance, and that is that this kit is really big. And I haven't worked on a kit from Jolly Gem Shop yet. But what happened was, and I mentioned this in my mid-year check-in, that I noticed that Jolly Gem Shop was coming out with a lot of kits in smaller sizes, in hand charting, and in like art styles and everything. Especially the smaller sizes, what really was calling my name about it. But when I saw that, I thought, well, let me get one of these. Let me go buy one of these smaller kits to try out from them first. And so I actually did order one a couple months ago, and they're one of those companies that does made to order, so I just don't have it in hand yet. It's this really cute kit called, is it just called the Herbalist? I can't remember the name, but it's a nice small size, and I fully see myself getting to it in 2026, because this is a shop I've been intending to work on a kit from for over a year. And it really just was the fact that Witch's Antique Collection ended up being too big, that I just couldn't get to it this year after all. Last but not least, I had written down a Mandy Manzano panel from DAC. And this one is like kind of an asterisk, like it doesn't really count, but it kind of does. So I didn't get to one. And this is one I regret not getting to, regret not making time for. Because I want to get through these princess panels. Like these, I have the full collection. I've only completed 2. I still find so much of this artwork near and dear to my heart. I don't want to get rid of them, but I want to work on them. I'm kind of tired of sitting on them. I'm 5 years into diamond painting, and I've only completed 2 of the like 10 or whatever that there are. What I kind of sort of counted as filling this spot was I did work on one of the panel style, very similar size point, of the like vintagey, kind of retro-y Star Wars posters that Diamond Art Club released. And I worked on one of those, and it kind of felt like I've checked the panel box, you know. And now I don't feel like I want to work on a giant Mandy Manzano princess panel. I really loved that Star Wars one. It was A New Hope, right? Yeah. It was really dang cool, actually. But I am really regretting that I didn't get to a princess panel this year. And I want to be sure that I get to one next year. I'm trying to say it now. Hold myself accountable. I want 2026 to be a year that I get to one. So ultimately, let me see. I tallied it up earlier. I completed 7 exact kits from my list, and then like 5 or 6, 7, depending on how you're counting it, like substitution style. So over half of these kits, well over half of them, I worked on in some way. And, you know, when I started this year, when I set these goals for myself, I didn't know. I kind of, this is the first year I'm doing this. We'll just see. If I hate it, I can just throw it out and not worry about this, and it's fine. But also, what if I like it? What if this is helpful? And I do think it was helpful, because when I would find myself in between kits thinking like, what kit do I want to work on next? I had this list written out that I could go back to, that it's like, these kits were on this list for a reason, and let me at least consider them. And that's why and how I got to kits like Garden from Carrot Art, Cave Dragon from Diamond Painting Shop, Talk to the Snakes from Jada Gem Shop, even Books and Things from Munimade, and the Diamood kit. All these ones, like, those were deliberate choices that I think it helped. And it's like I got to try out kits from new to me companies, or ones that I was revisiting and that sort of thing. So I kind of want to keep at least the spirit of that for 2026. I'm still noodling on what I want that to look like, and I'm thinking I'm going to try to have a video put together for that in the first few weeks of 2026. So you can, stay tuned for that and see how many kits I put on that list and what my reasoning is behind those. But before, I guess that's kind of it for that. I was gonna say, the video's not over yet. I just wanted to touch on, before we go, the 5 goals that I had set for myself and see how I feel like I did with those. So we talked about the 20 kits. That was the 20 kits and 5 goals for 2025. I don't know. It's like for 2026, am I do 20 kits and 6 goals? Am I going to find some other fun way to mix it up? But anyway, that's future Katie's problem. The 5 goals that I had set for myself for 2025 and how I did on them. First goal was I wanted to work on more rainy day kits. And this one I felt pretty good about. I went back and looked at all the kits I completed this year, and I in total completed, I think, 10 of them. 10 of the kits that I worked on this year were from my rainy day stash. So I included kits that I worked on right away that otherwise would have gone into my rainy day stash. So like Dark Lilith, Underworldly Romance, Eros and Psyche, like these kind of fun theme, the mythology and everything. I have a type. What can I say? These kits, they would have gone into my rainy day stash, but I worked on them right away. So it's up to you if you want to say that counts or not. But I'm saying that 10 of the kits that I worked on, you could look at it as 10 of these kits were kits that were near and dear to my heart in some way. Were kits that just I was feeling some kind of emotional attachment to, or they felt special to me. And so I feel like that's not bad, because in total I completed, right now I stand at 37 kits completed for the year. And I anticipate completing 3 more, because I have one smaller kit that's currently a whip, and anticipate working on 1 to 2 more smaller kits between now and the end of the year. So, but even with 37 being done, and one of my whips is a rainy day stash kit, the one I have going right now. It's called Love is Blind. It's this like golden retriever with a Santa hat over its eyes by Marilyn Casanave. It's so freaking cute. But like that's another rainy day kit. So you could say that's, 11 at the very least. So I feel good about this goal, actually. Should it have been more? Should it have been like half? No, not necessarily. I think what I had said, if I'm remembering right, was that maybe like every other month I wanted to try to work on one. Or was that for new to me shops? I don't remember, but I just wanted to be more intentional about it. And I thought that I was, and it brought me a lot of joy. So goal number 2 was to work on kits from new to me shops, like unbox and or work on kits from 6 new to me shops. Which could be kits or accessories, or this could be companies that had made like changes or updates that I wanted to test out. So for this, I said like 5-ish of the kits that I worked on this year kind of fell under this, whether it was a new to me shop or one that was like new features I kind of wanted to try out. And then I did try out a handful of new to me shops for accessories and tools. Like I tried out the new Art Dot vacuum pen. There are a couple of different new putty shops like Tiny Diny Creations, and Tracy's DP World had like this lily pad for ABs, and I feel so bad. There were so many more. Thay's Studios, their putty. There's a variety of different shops that I did try out. So I feel like I did meet this goal, and that's a goal I see myself carrying over, maybe adapting it slightly, but I do see this being a goal I take into 2026 again, because like I said at the beginning, highlighting and trying out new to me shops has always been a value of mine since I started my channel. It's been about, I want to just share these reviews of completed kits from companies that people might not be as familiar with. Just share my diamond painting experience in hopes that someone will find it helpful, maybe even entertaining, just enjoyable, but mostly helpful. So that's not going to go anywhere. Goal number 3 was that I wanted to continue working on some cross-stitch conversion projects, and this I did meet. I have my temperature project, which will be completed for the end of the year. I'm actually all caught up on it, even through part of December. And cross-stitch conversion project is where you take a cross-stitch chart, convert it to a diamond painting on a blank canvas, and it's something I've done a lot of on my channel too. And I also finished the Flossy Fox shop stitch along, and I didn't start anything new this year, which kind of goes into one of my last goal on this list. But I would still say that this was a part of my channel. I did also. This is not diamond painting related, so I'll keep it very, very brief. But I did pick up some traditional cross stitch this year, which was fun. A few months back, especially when I was coming off of having injured my shoulder literally from too much diamond painting at a diamond painting retreat. I just was spending too many hours in a day. Like, I wish I were exaggerating when I say it was upwards of 12 hours a day diamond painting, because it was a diamond painting retreat. Like, we were sitting around, like, I was chatting, hanging out with people. You diamond paint as little or as much as you wanted to. There were activities and stuff too, but it was a lot of late nights and fun times diamond painting. Also, it was not an ergonomic setup for me, very different from my usual setup. So I ended up with a, what do they call it? Like a repetitive motion injury in the shoulder, and was in physical therapy for a few months. And it really helped, but I was really strongly cutting back on my diamond painting time. I thought, let me pick up maybe some other hobbies. I kind of got back into video games a bit, and also picked up a little bit of cross stitch, with the idea that I also need to be careful with cross stitch because that motion is setting yourself up for also potential injury or aggravating that. So anyway, my cross stitch conversion experience has lent, it means that traditional cross stitch has lent itself to just being fun too. So anyway, that was goal number 3. So I feel like that's met. Goal number 4 was to do some kind of comparison series. And while I didn't do like a full-on series, I did a couple of projects that for me make me feel like this goal was basically met. So I mentioned Dark Lilith from Diamond Art Club. I completed that one and did a comparison video where I pulled out the DIY Moonshop version of it and talked about side by side the differences and the things that I liked and what 2020 Katie was thinking versus 2025 Katie. And that was a really interesting video to do. I also did a comparison of like Diamond Art Club then and now, where I compared, there's a kit that I worked on at the beginning of the year for my 200th diamond painting finish, called Found Love in a Frosty Place, or Fixer Uppers. That kit had 2 names. That was created in like 2019 or 2020, produced by Diamond Art Club then, and compared it to, I completed Love Bard, which was like a 2024 release, I believe, from Diamond Art Club. Talked about some of the differences and kind of then and now. So I considered that a comparison too. I don't think I really did any other major comparisons or I didn't do like an extended series this year, but comparisons have always been kind of a cornerstone of my channel. So I feel like those will always be present in some way. The last goal, and this one is one that I would not say that I met this one actually, and it's been on my brain too, but goal number 5 was to work on a large scale project of some kind, whether that was a max color project like the Hell Choreo kits with 200 colors from Diamond Art Studio UK, or a Josephine Wall kit that has 275 colors from Diamond Painting Deutschland, or like a really massive in size kit, which ultimately like I steered away from some really large size kits this year, but that was also because those were new to me shops. I didn't want to dive in head first with a new to me shop and a giant kit, or like a big cross stitch conversion project. And the smaller cross stitch conversion projects I worked on, I felt like didn't meet this goal. And I didn't end up even starting a different large scale project. But I really, as much as I was feeling the urge to at the beginning of 2025, I'm feeling it even more now. And so I see myself making a priority of this in 2026, whether it's a Josephine Wall kit from Diamond Painting Deutschland, or a max color kit of some kind from another shop, or my next giant cross stitch conversion project, which I've been noodling on a bit too. There's possibilities there, and I want to try to get to that. Part of the reason that I also admittedly did not get to this one this year was because I have been on a very tight budget this year in particular, and just the realities of my own just personal circumstances being what they are. I have not necessarily been able to swing the financial implications of picking up a large scale project, because some of these max color projects, whether it's international shipping or the materials for a big cross stitch conversion project, those can be very, very spendy. I've talked in detail about what some of those have looked like for past really big projects, and it can be hundreds of dollars. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but just some of the things I kind of was thinking of, it just was not in the budget this year. Maybe next year, we'll see. But so goal number 5 is the one I would really say I don't feel like I met this year. But 4 out of 5 I feel like isn't bad. Over half of the kits that I talked about is also not bad. So how am I feeling about it? I feel like for my first year setting these goals, I'm happy with what I did, the goals I did meet, the kits that I did complete from my list. I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like truly this was about the spirit of the thing. And the spirit of the thing was just to give myself some direction in areas that I felt like I was struggling with in the past. It was to give myself some focus on when I was feeling like, are there things I want to shift about my channel? Not to get super meta, but just like, are there things I want to do differently with my YouTube channel and what I'm creating here? And what really are my values? What are the things that I want to give most to the community from my content, from my videos, from what I'm working on. And I just feel like being able to think on those things and kind of come up with these goals to try to match those things was really helpful for me. So when I felt like I was maybe struggling a bit, I could come back to the list of kits I was thinking of. I could come back and look at my goals and go, okay, kind of recenter myself, refocus. I personally found it really helpful. And I hope that that translated for you guys into being something that was helpful for you as well as crafters. And this is the part where I ask for a couple of things from you. One is just generally, if you would like to share your feedback. Did you find it helpful to see, this deliberate variety of different kits and shops here on my channel? Or did you feel like it wasn't enough or it was too much? Anything in between? I'm more than open to your feedback. Are there specific things you'd be interested in seeing that you would find helpful or just fun and entertaining here on my channel in the upcoming year? Because I also am very thankful for your input with that. And along with that, I just would love to hear from you, because I've been yapping your ear off for, even after I edit this is going to be a nice, long, chunky, like 40 plus minute video, I think. I would love now to hear from you. What did 2025 look like for you in terms of, had you set any goals for yourself? And were there kits that you set out to work on specifically this year? Whether you made a list or just were like, I want to make sure I get to this one kit this year. And if so, how'd that go for you? I hope that you aren't hard on yourself if you didn't meet the goals you were hoping to, or if there were kits that you just wish you would have gotten to and you didn't, because you know what? Life happens. Sometimes you change your mind, like any number of reasons. It's completely fine. And I hope that as you're looking ahead to 2026 and what you might want from it, that you are very kind to yourself about that. And I encourage you to focus on kits and things that do just genuinely, not to overuse this phrase, but that bring you joy and that just make you love the craft, want to reach for it, be excited to sit down and diamond paint at the end of the day kind of thing. Because that is what I know I find most fulfilling for myself. And if you're finding yourself burnt out or kind of just treading water, or feeling meh about your craft, then maybe those are the kinds of things that could help you find that excitement and enjoyment again. But that being said, I think that's about it. I just, like I said, wanted to come on and talk about how I was feeling about the goals that I had set for myself for 2025. If you're interested in seeing the actual kits that I completed and hear me kind of talk about them a little bit more, not just the ones that were on my list, but the many others I worked on as well, stay tuned for my 2025 year in review video, which will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And in that, I'm going to be showing you all of my diamond paintings that I worked on this year, and I'm still debating what kind of format I might want to do that video in, so stay tuned. But either way, there will be absolutely a year in review in some form here on my channel, and I'm excited to go through my at least 38 completed diamond paintings with you and talk about all of them. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not already subscribed, I would love to have you here on my channel. I do unboxings and reviews from a variety of different companies, and also do weekly whip and chats if you want some company while you're crafting. And I also do diamond painting videos like this one. So if that was something that you enjoyed and you want to see more from me, like I said, please subscribe. I would love to have you here. Either way, though, I hope you're doing very, very well and that you have a day and a week that's as wonderful as you are. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, guys.